Peter, hi. Great to see you here at the Accounting Streams conference. How do you think it's going?
Very well. This morning was really informative. We had a talk from Joan Ballantyne about the past and how we had 50 years of saying that accounting education needs to change. And this is a great opportunity to see it change. And then we've seen where the project's got to so far. It's super.
Do you think we're going in the right direction, or are there changes that we still need to make?
No, I've looked at some of the material and I think it's really good. I was just skimming through the chapter on capitals and I just thought it was fantastic. I mean, it's lovely to sort of integrating financial capitals with human and social capitals and explaining how we need to look at the world from a different perspective. I just thought it was great.
I have to admit, as the person who first of all helped commission that chapter and then edited it, I agree with you. I think that's a great chapter and one that could be more widely shared. We're at an early stage in the project in a very real sense. This is preparing a book aimed fundamentally at first-year undergraduates. Now, you have very specialist interests, and I'm well aware of them. Where do we go next? Do we develop your specialist interest or others, or do we just look at generic textbooks for second and third years?
Well, I went in to study economics, and we went into a lot of detail about GDP and all the different types of, economic theory and so on. And the very last module I did went right back to basics and just went through the basics of economics and basic concepts like the tragedy of the commons, for example. So having something that gets across the basics really, really well is really good for first-year students, but it's also really, really good for people at the latter ends of their study to actually reflect on what they've learned. So I actually think that the resources you've got work well at the first year, but also work very well later on in the study. So getting what you've done really good, right, and working on it and honing it so that it's really useful to the lecturers. If you get that base right, I think that's really important. And then to start building up from there, take the opportunities from there.
We're obviously going to have to develop this. You're a specialist in sustainability. How is this going to have to change to reflect the changing world of thinking about sustainable reporting?
Well, I think that, as you said, the capitals chapter is really important. I've helped contribute to a carbon accounting chapter. I think that's really important. I think keeping up to date with what's actually going on in business and in government is really important. Keeping track of that, because we're going past that stage of counting the carbon, but actually doing carbon accounting where organisations are starting to measure. And then with the NHS, for example, asking all new suppliers from April 2024 to have a carbon footprint and to show that they've got a carbon reduction plan, we're going to see more and more businesses having to do carbon accounting. And that's going to cascade, because once you get to scope 3, which is third-party expenditure, everybody's somebody else's supplier. So we're going to see carbon accounting and accountants contributing to help organisations understand their carbon accounting and how that translates into finance. So we need to keep abreast of what's going on in industry and keep it up to date, keep it moving, because it's moving. And with AI and business more generally, we need to keep up with it.
That's one of the great advantages we've got in this project. We can keep it up to date because everything is online, nothing's going to be printed at this moment, and everything is free. So thank you very much for your input. Thank you for your chapter.
Brilliant.